This week's little story begins quietly with no music, in solidarity with my stereo system, which is dead. Parts of it are fine. There's a turntable right around the corner here, which worked in 1957, and it works today with maintenance that I can perform. Anything not vinyl relies on a digital player that I built into this book around 10 years ago, and it is not working. A victim of planned obsolescence. There's a real risk that this gets me whining about technology, which I am prone to do. Or could just saddle up and get this updated. Maybe for the better. So while I'd rather not be doing this, clearly, doing it again gives me the chance to make it better. This build was fine, and I could operate it. Whenever anyone else had to use it, its shortcomings were revealed. This interior surface is a mess, and there was no great way to really secure what becomes the cover, so it was always popping up and loose. The device had no way of actually locking into place. It was always wiggling and tipping around, hard to operate because it moved. So there's some qualities to be improved. Also to do, this device, which is my last phone, is bigger than version 1, so need to recreate both the space that it occupies and the window to access it. I think magnets might need to be involved. I'm not yet entirely sure how to clean this up, but I know I would like the, let's call it, door to be more rigid. So I'm going to find some material to laminate onto this back surface and make it more of a structural thing. Thin and rigid. Thin and rigid. Nothing. I scavenged from a bookshelf and stole some cardstock and from a terrific book on the Exploratorium in San Francisco, a wonderful photo of someone's shop that I'll put on the inside surface and no one will ever see but me, but I'll know it's there. While I put this together, I have a word or two to say about language. I use and think about the term design language all the time, maybe more than I should. Design language being the visual elements, the components, 7 1/8, the letters and words within the walls of an area of design that guide decision-making. Choices. The design language of Star Wars, a language that has been developed over many projects and helps you determine exactly how dirty a Star Wars ship should be. The design language of turn of the last century camps on lakes in northern Maine, established by the work done by camp builders and designers at the time. This idea can also be applied to the language of filmmaking, the language of cinema, the ways in which moving pictures and sound are assembled, similar to the way words and punctuation are assembled. I need to find some white glue. Found in the junk drawer upstairs, where all white glue lives.
We'll be right
Where all white glue lives. We all speak the language of cinema more fluently than we might think. And like many things having to do with language, take it for granted. But the reason we can be watching a TV show or movie and not think twice when there's a handheld camera, as opposed to finding it disorienting and possibly nauseating, is that handheld cameras is a established piece of filmmaking language, often attributed to the French New Wave. Someone had to try it first. Cutting from one shot to another, really what we would now consider the most foundational of elements of cinematic language, were not used in the very first films. The adoption of cuts required some experimentation to confirm that a viewer could watch and absorb the fact that we were in one place and all of a sudden we're in another space. Nothing guaranteeing that would work. And why, you ask, am I going on about the language of film while working on an unrelated project? Because Cinodrome. This little filmmaking exercise I'm engaged in doesn't have any rules, but it can take advantage of a toolbox of filmmaking ingredients that anyone pre-2000-ish would find pretty jarring. This practice of jump cutting through dialogue pause, for example, is one. The development of any language can be attributed to many folks over an ambiguous amount of time, but one person I tip my hat to as a major contributor to this language is Van Neistat. He brought a very distinct personal sensibility to storytelling from the moment he picked up a camera, as far as I can tell. I suggest you check out one of his really early films, Nautical Challenge. You can find every element of his distinct storytelling language in that film. And then watch something he dropped just a couple days ago. You Are Not an Artist. It's really good. He locks in to his rhythm and groove from the first frames and never lets go. It is tight as a drum. Links to both those films in the description-y place, and you can now find all Cinodrome picks in a channel playlist. Have at it. This cooked overnight. Fingers crossed. Great success. So in the same week following an operating system update, this huge piece of hardware, which is mechanically fine, is landfill. Grr. Not whining. Right there, captured on film for all time. Mistake. One of the things that irked me about version 1 of this device is that the entire window and device were a little crooked. They weren't square to the text of the book. So in the previous 20 shots, you've seen me making this very careful perpendicular parallel window in the book. And now I'm placing the device. I'm about to pack it with Bondo. And if you zoom in and look very carefully, I put it in there and it is twisted in its little home. And because I'm coming to you from the future, I can tell you that when this is done and you turn on the device in its little window, the graphics on the device are crooked in the very clean rectangular window. That will continue to irk me for the rest of my days. Oh well. Yeah, all new cables required as well, because of course the ports have moved on these devices. And it looks like some banging and some whacking and some drilling and tearing required. Okay. Behold the string cable ties I instituted the last time I did this. Had I not heard of zip ties? Seems unlikely. I'll get a string passing through this passage for the pulling of the new wires. I've been poking around for a while. I could find no sign of where this cable goes. The mysteries. Haha. Final assembly. Very exciting. And a fine time to thank members in the balcony who've been with me for 6 months. All right, that's good. Now, here we go. Yep. And of course, everybody up there on the chalkboard of fame. Nice. Close it up. Boop. Well, breaking news, the front cover pops open. That would be a lovely job for a magnet. I don't have an appropriate magnet. I'll do that some other time. This week's story ends with some music in recognition of this fully functioning hi-fi. It's not the greatest digital player, but it works. Cheers. Good work.